We are now going to conclude with our last chapter, War and Capital Punishment. Objectives. At the end of it all, you need to understand and summarize different views on capital punishment. Then outline the acceptable criteria for just war. Thirdly, explain why some Christians do not support war. Fourthly, develop capacity to articulate your own views on war and capital punishment. We have the following contents: introduction, defining war, just or unjust or simply war. Fourthly, can we be justified? Fifthly, war and the fallen state of man. Sixth, the Bible and war. Seventh, what is punishment? Eighth, Christian attitude towards punishment. 9, capital punishment. 10, war and peace. Then we shall conclude. War. When we think of war, what images or pictures are projected in our minds? Normally, war is correlated with death. It is a painful experience. Here we can see some of the things that are used at war. We are looking at what is called as Caesar 155mm artillery. And you can imagine what is capable of doing. Then we have the Delta Force Commandos from US. We have a child here portraying the picture of children who are suffering during war. If some of you have been attending the Israel-Palestinian war, you have seen what has happened. So many children have died innocently. Then here we are looking at a man who is crying with a child, and it indicates some of the havoc that might have been caused upon his residence, his people. They might even be injured. So that is what war brings about. The word war is from Old French word meaning guerre, meaning struggle or strife. The Latin word for war is bellum. This is a state of usually open and declared armed hostile conflicts between states or nations. It is a state of hostility, conflict, or antagonism. It is a struggle or competition between opposing forces or for a particular end. There is a problem of defining war today. We have what we may call military aggression. We have economic sabotage. We have something technological. We have what we call rhetorical, e.g., war on drugs, war on terror, and others. So defining war today would greatly aid in how we should approach the war of tomorrow. You need to consider military war. 1, the cost of human lives, the financial cost involved, the moral and ethical cost, environmental cost, the spiritual cost. Military war is the most destructive, and its cost can only be estimated. There is no formula for calculating the precise cost of war. Here we have item in that table on the left, and we are looking at First and Second World Wars. The First World War, we look at the end, the duration, casualties, financial cost, nations involved, leaders involved. In the First World War, which is November, which ended November 11th, 1918, and it has started 1914. The duration were 4 years and 3 months and 1 day. Casualties 11 million. Financial cost $196.5 billion. Nations involved 24. Leaders involved 75. When you come to the Second World War, one would have thought that it would have been much better than, but it ended. It started in 1939 and ended in 1945, 2nd September, 6 days and 1 day. Casualties were 59 million. Financial cost was $2,091.3 billion. Nations involved were almost 3 times as much. Leaders involved was 74, less 1 from the First World War. Just or unjust or simple war. Can we define war to be either just or unjust? Because we live in an imperfect world, conflict or disagreement is part of a human society. And when there is disagreement or conflict, then war will automatically come up, and there will be casualties, there will be whatever we have done. It will be an imperfect way of deciding which way is right and which way is wrong. But we should not rush to war when any conflict or disagreement arises, because there are other ways of solving conflicts, not necessarily going to war. So war should be the very last resort if there are other means. We want to look at war crimes and crimes against humanity. In 2002, the International Criminal Court, ICC, was established in Hague, Netherlands, and the Rome Statute provides for the ICC to have justification over genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crimes. Article 7 of the treaty stated that for the purpose of this statute, crime against humanity means any of the following acts when committed as part of a widespread or systematic attack directed against any civilian population with knowledge of the attack. Crimes against humanity would include murder, extermination, enslavement, deportation, or forcible transfer of population, imprisonment or other severe deprivation of physical liberty in violation of fundamental rules of international law, torture, rape, sexual slavery, enforced prostitution, forced pregnancy, enforced sterilization, or any other form of sexual violence of comparable gravity.